time we've visited the Shelter View Aqua Track in Wanganui, but this time it is under lights. It's round 5, the penultimate round of the Jet Pro New Zealand Jetsprinting Championships, and there is plenty to play for. A tight race at the top of Scott Waterjet Group A and equally tight in Suzuki Superboat. So if we have a look at the points coming in, it is Red Smith of Taupo with his wife Julie on top on 114 points. Baden Gray finished second last year on 111, and his teammate Bevan Muir won last year but has had an indifferent season. He's back there in third place. This is Brian Donald and Ray Mudgeway. They had their problems at Shelter View and could only come up with a 13th place finish.
Abrupt stop in the middle of the track.
Another man to have his problems was Sam Newdick and Nick McIndoe. This huge accident took him out of contention. A big crash at one of the fastest parts of the racetrack. Have a look at this. He skips the top of the island and then the severe barrel roll. Plenty of concern in the crowd, none more so than his father, Mark.
Are the boys all right?
Yeah, mate, they've just gone to hospital to get checked up. Boys in the ambulance said they should really go and have a bit of an x-ray and a couple of bit of pain between the shoulder blades, but no, I think they'll be all right.
What about the boat? Fixable?
Yeah, mate, yep, we'll be back at Featherston in a couple of weeks.
Well, from his previous rounds, Mark Newdick and Ollie Silverton picked up 11th place, but because of the crash of Sam, they couldn't run, so 11th was where they finished in Scott Waterjet here at Wanganui. 10th place went to a veteran of the Jetsprint Wars. This is Russell Dodds from Taupo along with Daniel Hay. Had some problems in the same corner that claimed Sam Newdick. 9th place was Blair Gibbard and Joanna Bayliss in Bulleta Gate, their best time of a 59.709, just missing the top 8 qualification. So we're into the top 8, and you can see darkness has descended on the Shelter View Aqua Track here at Wanganui, and a totally new perspective for driver and navigator alike. Time to bring in Jamie McCarthy here as we ride with Baden Gray. And Baden won here last year in the darkness of Wanganui. Can he do it again?
Well, he certainly had the pace today. He's been down in the 51, so our first boat in the top 8. And as you said, Phil, this is just such a different perspective in the dark from the daytime. However, that didn't help Sam Newdick.
No, it certainly did not, and our best wishes are with Sam and also Nick. Have gone to hospital to get checked out. We'll get back to the action here as you ride with Baden Gray.
Split was a 26.59, so that's our benchmark for the top 8 in Scott Waterjet Group A. Baden Gray bringing home 10 Tools Racing.
You run with them right down to the finish line and into the spin-out pool, and the time is going to be around about the 55, 56 second mark, I would think. And look at the lights and look at the reflection off the water. A problem for the driver under the Glass Pro arch, 56.472.
Under lights could be a bit of a game changer. That wasn't a good run for you.
I just couldn't see, mate. It just was like going into a black hole, and if I hadn't buttoned off, I would have biffed it.
Well, there you are. Something to conjure with there, Jamie. If I hadn't backed off, I would have biffed it.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. I mean, he was about 5 seconds down on his quickest. We'd probably expect the times to drop off a little bit with the darkness. But, I mean, Baden, well, as you said, Phil, he won this round last year, so not too sure what he's struggling with.
Down to the finish line he comes now. Mark Shirtliff out of Featherston. What can he do here?
Slower than Baden Gray, 59.96.
Shane Wood next to go. And I think if you'd asked him at round 1, that was also here at the Shelter View Aqua Track in Wanganui, if he'd be happy with his season come round 5, he'd probably say no, because he's had the new boat blues a little bit. He's certainly got the potential. He's done it all here at Wanganui. He's crashed spectacularly and he's been fast.
Yeah, well, he did have a big crash last season, and I wonder if he's just still trying to get his confidence back on track. Their quickest run to date has been a 55.5. There's the split, 26.30, so he's actually 2/10 up on Baden Gray.
Well, he's been the fastest run so far at half distance here in the 8. Remember, we'll cut him to 5, and then there'll be 3 in the grand final for Scott Waterjet. Will this man be amongst them?
Engine sounding crisp. Nice solid run from Shane Wood in Outlaw Racing, you've got to say. End of the lap coming up.
Down to the finish line, it's a little bit better lit than some of the darker corners. It is a 54.522 for Wood. This thing has got a distinctive sound. It is Marsh Motorsport, New Zealand Seafoods. It's Blake Bryan, son of the great Peter and Robin,
You can see the new front clip on the front of the white pointer. That's after the damage at the previous round with a crash into the tyres. Fastest to date was a 54.43 set in qualifying session 4, but that was in the light.
This last sweeping corner before he heads up towards the finish line now, and under the Glass Pro arch, what's it going to be? It's going to blow out a little bit here. I think it's going to be in the 56s. It is 56.952.
We're running fifth, I guess. We can't complain too much, you know. I mean, as I said before, kind of night racing's not my bag, but we'll go out there and do our best, and we'll really got to stay in the top 5, and we're going to stay leading the championship the way we do our sums.
Well, you heard the game plan from Reg Smith. Julie, his wife, is the navigator. You're on board with him here. You heard him also say that he's not real confident running under the lights. I know he was very nervous in the first year they did it at Wanganui, and he actually sort of stole a bit of a march on the rest of the competitors last year because he set up 2 big spotlights on the roll cage. No spotlights this time, but maybe a nervous Reg Smith, only thinking now, Jamie, about a championship.
Well, I wonder if Reg is just playing the conservative game a little bit. They've been in the 53s, but probably a good second and a half, a second and 3/4 down on the front running boats from the afternoon daylight session. Split for Reggie Smith was a 25.88, so that is the fastest split to this point.
Well, we called that completely wrong, didn't we? If he thinks he's being conservative, it's going to be a blockbuster of a run because that's the fastest split we've seen so far in the 8. You're riding with him here, you just hear him get on and off the throttle as he works the money corner, the hairpin here at Shelterview, under the finish line, 53.5, fast. Richard Murray and Kirsty Manning next to go here at Wanganui. Under lights day. Well, Richard is the property owner here and Julia does such a lot of work behind the scenes. But another one that's been fast all season long.
And if you live around Wanganui and you've heard a boat running around at 10 o'clock, it's probably been Richard testing in the dark.
Once again, a totally different mindset on the lights on the side of the boat. And look at the lens flare off our cameras caused by the lighting here at Wanganui. And the reflection on the water, 25.49. So once again, he's under the 26-second mark for the split. And now Mark Shirtliff's going to be a worried man because his time of 59.962 is on the bubble. He's about to be eliminated.
Well, Philly was 4/10 up on Reg Smith's split, and we thought that was impressive. So Richard Murray on a good time here. His previous best has been down in the 52s with a 52.7 in qualifying session 4. This is quick.
It is quick down to the line. It'll be in the 53s, but only just 53.022. So this is Andrew Guthrie and Janine Ingram. The boat is Rotorworks. Another one that's had a fantastic season for 2011, 2010. Well, he wouldn't have been too pleased with that, but he'd be happy where he's standing at the moment. Time to beat now is that of Blake Bryant's. And that time is very doable, I would think, for Andrew Guthrie, that 56.952.
Well, he did a 52.3 in the top 12. We've seen Mark Shirtliff eliminated. Split coming up for Andrew Guthrie. Look for it to be in that sort of mid-25, 26 range of 26.09. So he's a little bit slower than the likes of Reg Smith and Richard Murray.
Well, he's there or thereabouts, and I guess he's really only thinking about trying to make the 5 here.
But he needs to beat Blake Bryant's 56.9. So Blake Bryant sitting on the bubble. Andrew Guthrie, oh, that sounds strong.
It sounded strong all season. I think they've had more engine work done because it's been fast right from the get-go, right from the first round here at Wanganui. It's fast under lights too, 53.858. Bevan Muir, the defending champion. Man, I bet if he wanted to have his time again, he'd want to have a couple of rounds back after having some navigational errors. That's in effect cancelled out his title hopes for the championship, but he's still in there. Also in there is his navigator, Kathy Barker, because in the race within a race in these championship series is the Navigators Championship, and Kathy is in a battle with Reg Smith's wife, Julie.
Well, this combination's been down in the 51s like Baden Graham. Bevan Muir, of course, coming off that last start win in Hastings. Split 25.40, and that is the fastest split so far in the top 8.
Don't want to rain on your parade, but that 51 was in the light. This is in the darkness. It's going to be fast, there's no doubt about that, but we've seen the times drop off just a little bit, and that is the reason why. So
we've lost Blake Bryant. Baden Gray now sits on the bubble, so Bevan Muir in with a chance here to eliminate his King Tools Racing teammates.
56.472, the time in the back of the mind, 52.463.
Bate said when he come in, he just says dark spots and he couldn't see and he buttoned off, you know. Yeah, it's hard. You just got to close your eyes and go, I think.
Well, we predicted it, didn't we, that Baden Gray would be eliminated, but we didn't think it'd be by his teammate, but that's exactly as it happened. 52.463. Second place, Richard Murray with a 53.22. Red Smith in third. Andrew Guthrie is fourth. And for the first time in the 5 is Shane Wood. Andrew Guthrie, deep in concentration or asleep. I'm not sure which. Getting ready for the top 5 here in Scott Waterjet Group A.
You look like you were just sort of going through the course in your head. It must be hard out there.
Yeah, you sort of almost got to drive it to how you memorise it, not to what you're seeing. You know, yeah, some of those corners look so much different at night, and you know where you've got to be, and almost go through them as you've driven it in the day. So yeah, makes it a bit tricky.
Well, has it worked? Has the concentration worked for Andrew Guthrie and Janine Ingram? They're on the journey. This is the top 5 in Scott Waterjet Group A. It's the penultimate round of the Jet Pro New Zealand Jet Sprinting Championships. And just to make it a bit harder, we're doing it in the dark.
Well, we talked about the previous round at Hastings being so hard because each of the islands looks very similar. That was wide. He was up over the top of the tyre bank. He's probably going to need to find the better part of about a second and a half to be on the pace of the likes of Bevan Muir and even the likes of Richard Murray. Split
Exactly
26-28.
Right. So it's a little bit down on what he did in the top 8, but he is the flag bearer, if you like, for the 5. What's it going to be? Last time it was a 53.858.
Well, he's trying hard. I just think he lost at least a half a second by running wide. He was right up over the top of the tyre bank. Andrew Guthrie bringing home Rotorworks.
That's right, this little mistakes cost a tenth and maybe a half a second under the Glass Pro arch, and it's a 54.296.
Well, he slows up. That could be important, Reggie Smith.
Previous times for Reggie in the 54s in the top 12, dipped into the 53s in the 8. This is the 5. Julie sits alongside him, as she has all through the last couple of seasons. Found a new sponsor at the beginning of this year, Glass Pro. They got on board not only with Reg, but also the Jet Pro Association as well.
Now, mathematically here, Phil, if he can make the top 3 with the dropped round for each of the drivers, he could tie up the championship here potentially. 26.2 for Reg Smith, and you compare that to a 25.88. He's a little bit down on his previous split from the top 8.
We heard Andrew Guthrie say earlier, didn't we, that every change he'd make was working. Maybe the change that Reg has made this time hasn't worked, and he is just a hair off the pace of last time. Got the lights flashing this time though, so that's got to give him a little bit more effort. Down towards the finish line now, Reg Smith looking for another 53-second run, gets it. Well, if we have a look on the leaderboard, it is Reg Smith on top now with that 53.875. Andrew Guthrie back in second.
Julie was saying earlier on, if we in the top 3, it could be in the bag. But let's see how Bevan goes.
Let's ask for confirmation. Julie?
Yes.
Top 3
Yes.
is all you need to win the championship.
Oh, I'm pretty sure.
Shane Wood and Hamish Riddell on the journey now. And we talked about it before with the way the championship is run this year. You can drop your worst performance, so that's why if you do the maths, get the calculator out, that's why Red Smith thinks that if he gets in the 3, he will win the championship with 1 round still to go. This guy hasn't got a chance in the championship, but he has got a chance for redemption here, Jamie, because as we've said earlier, it has been a difficult season for Shane Wood.
Still trying to get used to this new combination. Split coming up for Wood.
Look,
now,
I think he's trying to get used to the rotation as well, because he's gone wrong here. This is going to blow out.
He's made a mistake. He's trying to correct it. So no split as yet for Shane Wood. There it is now, 38.05. So a mistake in the middle of the course for Shane Wood. His chances of making the top 3 are well and truly over.
Well, absolutely gone here for the man from Upper Hutt.
Well, that undoes a pretty solid weekend for Shane Wood, making the top 5, but it hasn't ended well. But hey, there's still 1 more round left to go at Featherston for Outlaw Racing.
Well, yeah, you can consign this one to the history books because it's been an absolute shocker for Shane Wood. He's going to be over the minute. So if you have a look at the leader table, Red Smith on top, Andrew Guthrie in second. And for the moment anyway, Shane Wood is third with the quick boys to come. And here's one of them. And what a quick boy Richard Murray has been this season. Switched to the small block Ford and he hasn't looked back.
Yeah, they're certainly getting to grips now with that new white pointer hull and the 410 Ford.
Well, there's not a heck of a lot of difference between the Chevy and the Ford. The top-running Scott Waterjet Group A boats run around about 650, 700 horsepower. And let's face it, Jamie, the small blocks in the back of them are in a pretty mild state of tune, really.
25.05. He's 4 tenths up on his previous best in the top 8. So Richard Murray's on a lap here.
Well, this has ramifications for the championship as well, because Richard Murray is right in contention for a step on the podium. Might not be the top step, but it'll be there or thereabouts. This is going to be a pretty good run, I would think.
Bringing it down to the Glass Pro finish. It will be quick, 52.49.
That is the fastest run we've seen in the 5, so Richard Murray goes to the top of the tree now. Bevan Muir heads out along the start chute and out onto the course here at the Shelterview Aqua Track. Got to get this first turn absolutely dead right, because that is the fastest part of the track. That's the corner that caught Sam Newdick and also Russell Dodds. Hasn't caught Bevan Muir and Kathy Barker, though, as you ride with them here.
So with Shane Woods DNF, Bevan Muir has the chance to eliminate Andrew Guthrie to go through to the top 3 to certainly face Reg Smith and Richard Murray, but he needs to get it home.
Well, he needs to better that 54-second time of Guthrie to eliminate him, but as you said, he needs to run, I would say, maybe sub 52.
Well, he's been in the low 52s, 52.4 in the top 8. What can he do here?
And Ting Tools Racing, of course, with the earlier elimination of Baden Gray not being double driven, so they can spend more time on the preparation. Down to the finish line, he is sub 52.
51.9 for Bevan Muir.
So we've found our top 3 here in Scott Waterjet Group A, and it will be Bevan Muir, Richard Murray, and in third place, Reg Smith. Probably enough for him to clinch the championship. So we're down to the final in Scott Waterjet Group A. Reg and Julie Smith just going through their preparation exercises, and now through the Jet Pro start shoot they come and fire Glass Pro down into this very difficult turn 1. All the times previous don't mean anything now. We're at the business end here at Wanganui. It's the penultimate round of the Jet Pro New Zealand Jet Sprinting Championships under lights here, and you couldn't have more drama. How much championship changing drama have we seen so far, Jamie?
Well, at the end of it, as we believe it right now, Rex and Julie Smith have tied up the Scott Waterjet Group A Championship with a round to spare, 25.69 for the split. So they're a good half second up from what they did in their previous run in the top 5. So we're looking at the New Zealand Scott Waterjet Group A champions.
Well, it's been a long journey for Reg Smith, and he's done it all in jet sprinting. He's driven the super boats, he's driven the Group A boats. He partnered with his brother a couple of seasons ago in a team effort. Down to the Glass Pro finish line, 52.972.
Even if Bevan wins the next race, no, through consistency, we've been on a podium out of 11 races. We've been off the podium once, so consistency has made it for us. And yeah, looks like we're the reigning champion for this year. Pretty happy about that.
I was going to say, how does that feel? You waited long and hard for that one.
Yeah, the Group A is it's a big one. You know, I mean, yeah, we've done well in the past, and winning a Group A championship is bloody important because there's so many people striving for it. And as you can see today, they're all so close. It's very gratifying.
Well, Reg mentioned the fact that the times are close. They've been close right throughout the season. And Reg Smith, to the best of my knowledge, hasn't finished any worse than 4th. So consistency, there's no doubt about it, wins championships, Jamie.
Oh, congratulations to Reg and Julie Smith. I mean, there's probably no one else that tries harder in the sport. He finished 2nd in the world. He was 3NZ last year, and he's been around the sport forever. And I think he's one of the only drivers, if not the only one, to have contested every world championship.
Yeah, that's right. Experience tells for a lot. And I mentioned his brother before, Brian, of course, the Suzuki Superboat champion a few years ago.
24.9 for Richard Murray. That is a quick split. He's about a 10th and a half up on his previous best in the 5. So Richard Murray, can he be the spoiler here and take out the win in his hometown? Still with Bevan Muir to come.
Not only his hometown, his home track. Can I bring local knowledge in here?
He's going to bring it home down to the line. This is quick for Richard Murray.
52.
Woo!
So if we have a look at the table, it is Richard Murray and Kirsty Manning go to the top now from Reg and Julie Smith. Bevan Muir still to come. Now, Bevan Muir will have not so happy memories of Wanganui, because we mentioned before that Richard Burt's boat caught fire. Well, Ting Tools Racing caught fire right across the line last year as well. Didn't stop Baden Gray winning the whole show. Is Bevan Muir going to repeat what his teammate did last year?
Time to beat, a 52.285, just set by Richard Murray. Reg Smith will be looking on from the sidelines. He knows he's got the 1NZ for next year, and that number is going to transfer from this race boat.
That's right, and that 52 is easily doable for Bevan and Kathy. They've been in the 51s, remember? They did a 51 in the top 5. They're a little bit slower in the top 8. They did a 52.4. Those times don't mean anything now, but it's a bit of a benchmark for you.
Well, he's 1/100th of a second up on Richard Murray's split. It's going to be close.
And once again, just look at the attitude of the boat on the water. You won't see it from that shot. You won't see much as he goes under the line. 51.671 for Bevan Muir, and that is good enough to win the penultimate round here under lights at Wanganui. In second place, a great performance from Richard Murray.
I've just got a habit of bloody finishing late, you know, and that's what I've got to work on next year.
Oh well, Featherstone, you can maybe go out in the high by winning that one.
Yeah, well, we've got 2 wins up our sleeves, so that's a bonus, and we've just been going meeting by meeting now, and anything else is a bonus.
So with 1 round to go in the Jet Pro New Zealand Championships, in Scott Waterjet Group A, Reed Smith has clinched the championship. There's still plenty to fight about for 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th.